So, okay. So the concept of streaming, it uses the internet to access content from a variety of devices. It's an alternative to downloading content over the internet, which is something that I'm sure some of you are familiar with, downloading things. Whereas downloading would mean obtaining the entire piece of music or video before you watch it. Streaming is more real time, so you're watching it as you're downloading it. It's kind of a same time thing. You can think of it as kind of like a live news broadcast, but in this case, you can choose when and how you want to watch it. So in some cases, you can watch it live, or you can choose to watch it later, whenever is most convenient for you. So some of the pros and cons of streaming. We'll start off with the pros. So probably the main and biggest pro for streaming is convenience. You're able to access your content anywhere on any device that's connected to either your home Wi-Fi or your cellular network. There's no physical collection, so the entire library of content is available digitally on your device. There's no, CD shelf or vinyls or anything like that, or DVDs, stuff like that. It can also be cheaper. It has a potential to be cheaper, so you have more control over what services you choose to pay for, kind of like a la carte. You're not stuck with bundles of content you don't want, but you pay for anyway. And some of the cons. So, like I said, it is using the internet, so you are required to have an internet connection. So that in some cases a faster connection, so that's something to keep in mind when considering streaming. Also, managing multiple accounts can become overwhelming. So the more services you sign up for, each of those has its own login information, and kind of managing all those different accounts can be kind of overwhelming at a certain point. And lastly, probably the biggest con in a way is inconsistent availability. So content in any of these services can go away at any time for any reason. It can move from service to service if you're streaming it. If you're streaming it, you do not own it. So that's a big thing to keep in mind. All right. Any questions so far?
Nothing in the chat.
Okay. All right. So let's go into music streaming. All right. So what is music streaming? So a lot of music streaming services are similar. They all cost about the same. They offer mostly the same basic functionality. So you have access to a catalog of millions of songs. You're able to save individual songs and albums of songs to like a personal collection on the service. You can think of it as kind of a virtual shelf of music that you have access to. The service will track what you're listening to and recommend similar music based on what you've been listening to. And that kind of gets into why it's difficult to change services down the road. So if you have been with a service for a long time and you decide to switch, none of those recommendations, none of your collection transfers over. So you're basically starting from scratch, building your library. So I would maybe recommend kind of trying out free versions of different services to see which one you like the best. And then if you decide to pay for it down the line, then just sticking with one. One is probably the best bet. There's also, some of the major streaming companies are Spotify, which has about 70 million songs in its catalog. There's Apple Music with about 90 million songs. And Apple Music is a special one because all these services I'm mentioning have free tiers, whereas Apple Music does not. So in order to use Apple Music, you do need to pay for it. There's no no other option there. There's also Pandora, which is kind of radio-like. It's kind of constructed like a radio where you just, there's stations based on things you like to listen to, and you flip through songs that way. That has about 30 million songs. And there's also Amazon Prime Music. So for those of you that have Amazon Prime already, there's a version of, there's a music streaming service included with Amazon Prime. You don't get as many songs, you get about 2 million songs with that subscription, but you can upgrade to a higher tier later. But those are some of the biggest services. And then we get into premium music services. So these are some of the most popular premium services. So there's Amazon Music Unlimited. So like I said, with the free version, you get about 2 million songs. And then for the premium version, you get about 75 million. There's Spotify, like I said, that has 70 million songs. YouTube Music, which has about 80 million. And then there's Tidal, which has about 80 million and offers like the best sounding streaming music. The quality of streaming that's kind of its selling point. And with these free versions, you have ads. So that's how they support the free versions. So by paying for the premium services, you get rid of ads and have unlimited use of the apps. So choosing a service will come down to personal preference and just kind of trying these services out and seeing which one you like the most. Because they're so similar, there's just might be subtle things that you prefer one over the other. Any questions?
Yes, we have one in the chat. Can you download your selections to a device?
Yes, so that's another perk of the premium tiers of each service is that you are able to download songs to listen to without an internet connection. You don't like own those songs that you download. Eventually you will have to reconnect to the internet after a period of time to continue listening to those songs. But if you're stuck without an internet connection or a bad connection, you're able to download those songs for offline listening. Any other questions?
Another one just came in. Does Comcast offer streaming service?
Not that I know of. They might have a bundle, like if you sign up with Comcast, they might have a music or a video streaming service included, but then none that I'm aware
of. Actually, I think I can kind of piggyback on this one because it does. I mean, I know about it because we're going to be going into video streaming at the moment. I need to look into it more, but I believe that with Comcast streaming, if you have a specific cable box, you can get the streaming service Peacock. I believe that's free because Comcast, Xfinity, I think they own Universal and Peacock is their streaming, but I would have to look into that to give you a better answer.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that Xfinity, as far as music streaming services go, I don't think they offer any kind of bundle in with that. But yeah, I think I'm aware of some video streaming services that are bundled in with Xfinity. But again, we'll clarify that in the follow-up. All right, so if there aren't any more questions.
Looks like we're good for now.
Good for now, all right. So I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to Stephanie to talk to us about video streaming.
All right, thanks so much, Zach. Okay, so like I said, my name is Stephanie. We're going to talk about video streaming today. So what is video streaming? Video streaming allows you to watch a movie or TV show without having to download it first. With streaming, you can basically watch anything, anywhere, at any time. Now, of course, there are some caveats to that, which I'll get to in a moment. So what's the difference between on-demand and live streaming? Okay, you may have heard these terms before. So on-demand are things that you have that have already been made. So for example, my mom loves to watch The Honeymooners. So that's already something that's been made. So she can get that on demand. Also, movies, TV, other TV shows, things like that. Live streaming, these are shows that are airing in real time. So as Zach said earlier, think like your news broadcasts or sports broadcasts or your award shows. Those are live, okay? Like the saying, live from New York, it's Saturday night. So there's your live streaming. When it comes, so you might also hear there's original programming. So some streaming services like Netflix, they have their own original series. So if you're familiar with Stranger Things or The Crown, I believe The Crown, those are things that streaming service, that Netflix only can provide. You can't find that anywhere else. That's content that they have paid for to make. With third-party programming, again, these are shows and TV shows that have already been made. So you can watch, okay, sorry about that. The thing with third-party programming, and again, Zach has touched on this a little bit earlier, is that because there's so many streaming services, they're slowly breaking off and going onto separate services, which I'm going to touch on that. Oh, I can give you an example. So like say you watch Star Trek. I'm a big Trekkie, so I love watching Star Trek. It used to be available on Netflix only, but since CBS, the company that owns Star Trek, they developed their own streaming service called Paramount Plus, and now Star Trek is on that, and it's no longer on Netflix. So there are some things you want to consider when you're thinking of video streaming. The biggest thing is cost. So most streaming services start at about $8 a month, and they go up from there. If you pay, some of them will let you pay more for either higher quality video or to remove ads. And yes, unfortunately, ads are a thing. So some of them include ads with their shows. Sometimes you can pay extra to remove them, but some services like Hulu have ads on certain shows, even if you're paying to remove them. All right, so if you're, I think those are like they're more popular shows, the ones that are currently airing. Those are the ones that they tend to run ads on. And also, of course, you want to consider content. What do you want to watch? You can go onto Google and you can type in the name of your show or the name of your movie and add streaming at the end. So if you wanted to watch, say Beauty and the Beast, you type in Beauty and the Beast streaming, and you'll see a bunch of results. And again, streaming services are constantly gaining and losing shows and movies to each other all the time. So be aware that if it's on Netflix one month, it might be on Paramount the other, or Hulu on one, or Prime on the next. And saying of that, next slide, please. So when we think of streaming, we tend to think of these 4 companies. Now, there are other ones out there, and I'm going to touch on that in a bit, but I wanted to just talk about the big ones that you're probably more familiar with. So Netflix, we all have heard of Netflix. Netflix has over 213 million subscribers, and it started in 1997. Now, those of you may remember that Netflix used to be a service where you could order DVDs and they send it to you in the mail. They technically still do that, but they've spun that off into its own division. So Netflix nowadays is streaming and only streaming. And they started streaming strictly in 2007. If you have Amazon Prime, you probably have heard of Amazon Prime Video. That has over 175 million subscribers, and it started in 2006. Now, it is a part of Amazon Prime, so if you already have that, you do have access to Amazon Prime Video, but you can also subscribe to it without subscribing to Prime for shipping and stuff. Next up is Disney Plus. Disney Plus is really interesting because it started just a couple years ago in 2019, but they already have over 118 million subscribers. And my guess is because Disney movies, that's where you're going to find them. You're going to find the Disney back catalog and current release movies. You're also going to find the Marvel movies. You're going to find Star Wars. National Geographic, and if you're a fan of The Simpsons, like I am, that's where you're going to find it. And Disney Plus tends to focus more on family programming. And last but not least is Hulu. Now, Hulu only has 42 million subscribers only. That's still quite a healthy number. They were started in 2007. Now, Disney Plus does own, I believe, a majority share of Hulu. So while Disney focuses more on family programming, Hulu is more general audiences. So you're going to find a lot more on Hulu than you would find on Disney. And also if you were to go through the bundle, Disney Plus and Hulu, you can also get ESPN Plus added onto that. And I'm going to touch on that in just a moment. If you can move on to the next slide, please. Okay, so other streaming companies. So we have Apple TV Plus. Now, Apple TV Plus just started. You don't need an Apple device to watch Apple TV Plus. The thing with Apple TV Plus is that they don't have as much third-party content. A lot of their stuff is that things that they've already made. So if you've heard about the show Ted Lasso, you're only going to be able to find it on Apple TV Plus. You also have some niche services. So these are services that are catering to a specific genre or specific type of show. Two that come to mind, Shudder, if you're big into horror, that would be one, or Crunchyroll, which is big into Japanese animation. The big ones that are coming out these days are network specific services. So like I said earlier with my example with Star Trek, CBS, they have Paramount Plus. I mentioned earlier about Peacock, which is owned by NBC. PBS has PBS Passport. HBO Max is another really super big one. And finally, sports streaming. Again, I kind of touched on ESPN Plus, which is kind of they offer a broad spectrum of sports programming, but also depending on if you want to watch like league specific, like there's NHL TV, there's NFL. It all depends on what you want to look for. Sports streaming can be a bit fragmented, so you may have to do a little digging on that one, but ESPN Plus would probably be a great place to start. And that's it for video streaming, just a very brief overview. Does anybody have any questions on video streaming?
There's another question about, there's one about, can you record videos from streaming? Like, I guess they're asking if you can download, kind of the same with music streaming. Can you download the videos after you've streamed them?
Sorry about that. I muted myself. So to go back to what I was saying, I do apologize. With Netflix, I believe you can download them for offline viewing. You can download some things. I believe that's the case with Prime Video. I don't know about other ones, but I mean, I'd have to get back to you to answer specifically.
And also, what device would you download them to?
Another good question. So I would say like you could download them to like your computer, like a laptop if you're traveling, if you have enough space on your phone and you have the app for that specific service. I'm just going to kind of default to Netflix for now. That's what you could probably download them to. Now, again, as Zach has said in previous presentation and earlier in the presentation, you do need an internet connection at some point. And again, you do not own these movies or TV shows. You can, you can't download them, turn off your internet and say, haha, I have them forever. No, it doesn't, unfortunately, it doesn't quite work like that.
And I'll just jump in as far as like recording. If you're asking about specifically recording content, you're not able to do that. There's protections built in to prevent you from just like recording videos from your TV or device or something like that. So that's not really an option. Really, the only option is just to download, like Stephanie said, if the
Yeah,
service supports it.
and I remember my mom was telling me she downloaded something to do with Star Wars a while back for me because I'm a big Star Wars fan. But she's got some sort of notification like okay, we have it on your cable box, but you only have it for like 24 to 48 hours. It was a very limited time span. So even if you were to do something like that, it would say, no, you can only watch it between this time. After that, you're finished.
I think that's all the questions for now.
Okay, so I'm going to hand it to Manny to tell you about gaming streaming. Manny, take it away.
Thank you very much. Hello, my name is Manuel Payano. You can call me Manny, and today we'll be talking about game streaming. Now, next slide, please. For the purpose of this panel, I'll be dividing the following subjects into two subclasses: live game streaming and cloud game streaming. Now, what is live game streaming? Live game streaming is streaming of videos of other people playing video games or regular games on real time. Kind of like watching a game show on the TV, but that is recorded live, and the participants are like playing games for your entertainment. Now, cloud game streaming is a little bit more complicated. It consists of streaming a video game for you to be able to play it. It lets you remotely access hardware, either a server or another device, and via the internet. You use a browser or an app to log in over the internet, and the games you play run on the other side while you're the one controlling it. The browser and app will simply provide a live feed of the video and audio coming from the server or the device that is doing the processing. And it will translate the input that you give via the controller. Next slide, please. All right, so let's dig into live game streaming for a moment. Now, some people like broadcasting videos of themselves playing games or playing games with their friends. And other people like enjoy watching those for the entertainment. And also because it helps them build a community. Imagine as if you're watching a TV show and you have a way to connect with the community watching that TV show right there via the same platform that you're using to watch it. That's one of the things that live game streaming provides. Now, let's see. It has turned into a like giant industry with Twitch that is owned by Amazon leading the charge. Now, Twitch's growth during the 2010s, like it was so big that Google tried to buy it. They were unable to, and Amazon was the one who went in with a $970 million cash offer to be able to buy it. Now, one of the things that like we have over here, the top 3 platforms that provide live game streaming. We got Twitch, YouTube Gaming, and Facebook Gaming. And they all work similarly. They allow viewers to donate and subscribe to the streamer, the content creator, the person that is going to be basically either playing the game or hosting the game for other people to play it. And they're all free. The services are all free for you to create an account and start basically streaming the content. But it also allows you to subscribe to the specific channel or the streamer that you enjoy the most. And the subscription to one of those streamers or channels is about $4.99 a month. There's also higher cost tiers, especially on Twitch. It allows you to basically pay more money to the content creator that you are watching. And that business model allows the content creators to basically make a career out of their skills or commentary or even just popularity. Now, YouTube gaming, well, it started back in 2015 as a standalone website owned by YouTube, which is, of course, owned by Google. And one of the things that they were doing is that they had a standalone website and app where you will go in and watch people play video games live or watch some of the recordings that they did before. But on May 2019, YouTube went ahead and decided to get rid of that. And now you can access it specifically through the YouTube website and YouTube app. And Facebook gaming is one of the most recent platforms that allows the live streaming of video games. They released in 2018 with a pool of popular gaming streamers that were already on some of the other platforms. And one of the things that makes Facebook gaming so popular is because it allows you to use the community that you already built on your Facebook page and have them watch you play video games. Next slide, please. All right, now let's talk about cloud game streaming. As I previously mentioned, cloud game streaming is a service where a user can access a video game remotely and play it. Essentially, you're controlling a computer or console that is not in front of you. And it allows you to see everything and everything that is being processed by it through the device that is actually in front of you. A few pointers about cloud game streaming that some of them are basically the same as old streaming that we have is that it's using a remote server or device, but in this it will be basically either a console or a computer, but that is somewhere else. And it requires, of course, a high-speed internet connection, and most of the services are subscription-based. Now, these are the major cloud gaming platforms. We got PlayStation Now owned by Sony. We got Luna owned by Amazon. The X Cloud Gaming owned by Microsoft, and the GeForce Now owned by NVIDIA, the popular graphic cards designer or producer. Now let's talk about the Xbox Cloud Gaming. It's also called the Xbox Game Pass Ultimate and is owned by Microsoft. And what it does is that it's going to be, it hosts several really big library of video games, and it will use Xbox Series X hardware located somewhere else in the world, or even your own Xbox, to stream it and send it to the device that you're using to access it. Either your phone or the computer or even a tablet. In return, it will take all the input from the controller that you're using it, and it will send it to the device that is actually doing the processing. The cost for the Xbox Game Pass Ultimate or xCloud is $14.99. And then, of course, we also have the PlayStation Now. The PlayStation Now is a cloud gaming subscription developed by Sony Interactive Entertainment. The service allows members to stream PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4 games on a PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, and even on a computer. The PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 4 games, 2, 3, and 4, they can be downloaded and be played locally offline on your PlayStation 4 and 5. Sadly, you cannot do that on the computer. And if you do download them on your console to play offline, you will still have to get online every few weeks to make it for the system to make sure that you still are subscribed to PlayStation Now. Next one we have, of course, Luna. That is the cloud gaming platform developed and operated by Amazon. It's still on an early access stage that you have to actually request an invitation from Amazon to allow you to use the service. And it starts an introductory price of $5.99 a month. And right now it only has one extra channel, which is Ubisoft, the people behind Assassin's Creed and some of the other games like Crysis. And basically, it allows you to be able to play those games on Windows, Macs, and Amazon Fire TVs. And last but not least, we have GeForce Now, which is a brand used by NVIDIA for its cloud gaming service. This one is a little bit different from the rest because it allows you to play games that you own on your PC via PC gaming stores like Steam and Origin, and allows you to play them remotely either on another computer, on a like Mac OS, on Android, iOS, and some smart TVs. Now, do we have any questions?
By and large, most of the questions we've been having have to do with video streaming. I haven't seen any for gaming though, but yes, I've been fielding a lot of questions on video streaming. If you'd like, I can answer them for everyone. I don't want to step on anyone's toes or anything.
Please do.
Okay, so bear with me because this has been really, I mean, this is great. So I mean, I do have to check with a few of these. So one of the questions was, and hopefully maybe you, Zach and Manny, you guys can chime in here. So one of the questions is, can you record videos? What device would you download them to? So you can save something like you can on a cable DVR. Like I said, I believe my mother had tried something like this and she had a set period of time where she could view it. So it's not like it's a permanent solution. So this might be, so I do need to look into that to confirm a little bit more. Next question, my wife likes to watch Hallmark movies and saves them to the DVR to watch over and over. Is this possible with streaming? I would need to double check. There may be a specific Hallmark channel that you can stream on. I know there is a Hallmark channel. I don't know if they have a streaming service per se. I'd have to double check. Can you stream the local networks such as ABC, CBS? If you're looking at the local affiliates, from what I've seen from a super quick Google right now, that's a service called Sling. And they have what's called an Air TV. Now, I'm not very familiar with this, so I would have to do some more looking up with this. Okay. If you subscribe to several streaming services, is there a special remote control that would allow you to move around on all the services? In my experience, I use a Roku, and there's also, it's a little device that you plug into your TV. And it gives you, you download, you install the little apps for Netflix, Amazon Prime, all these things. There's also something called the Amazon Fire Stick. It operates the same way. I've also done this through my PlayStation 4 and through an Xfinity cable box. So there are multiple ways that you can do this, so you're not hopping between devices. With a smart TV, can I disconnect from the cable box and just use Wi-Fi for the connections? And that is exactly what I do. I stopped using my cable box and I just primarily use my Roku streaming stick. And a new one, what streaming services does the Martin County Library provide? As of now, we do not have any. All we really have is just Libby, which is just a ebook and audiobook service, which isn't streaming per se. Would you guys consider I wouldn't consider that streaming, not in the sense that we're talking about here. What do you guys think?
I would consider that streaming. I mean, that's a good point because some of the music streaming services that I mentioned earlier, I know at least Spotify does this. There are some audiobooks on Spotify, and there are also podcasts. There's other things besides music that you can stream. So just like kind of like radio streaming. So I would consider, yeah, like audiobooks to be a form of streaming in a way.
Okay, anything else? These are really great questions.
Can I chime in for a second? Just
Yeah,
one
please,
thing.
please.
So someone asked, I think you answered this question about local network channels like ABC, CBS, etc. There are some network, like some channels that I know of that if you have a subscription to cable already, like through DirecTV or Xfinity, I know at least AMC has this. So they have an app you can download for free. And if you already have a subscription to that channel through your cable provider, you can sign in with your cable account and stream over Wi-Fi most of the content there with ads. So, if you miss a show and you don't have DVR, you can use the app to stream shows that you missed and stuff like that, just by having your cable subscription. So I would look into some of the channels that you watch on cable and see if there's an app to go along with it. And then you might be able to just using your account, stream the content from those channels at any time.
Yeah, you're right. I completely forgot about that. I know the History Channel has that.
Mhm.
That so long as you enter in your cable provider's information, you can stream the History Channel. So yeah, I completely forgot. Thanks, Zach.
Now, I would also like to chime in and have some information about what services we provide, like streaming services. Now, this one, you will actually require like either a computer or like an Android or iOS device. But we do also have, and we are going to be mentioning this later, the LinkedIn Learning, which is basically streaming classes directly to your device for you to
Oh,
watch.
Yeah, that's a
good
good point.
point. Yeah. I do see another question in here. Would an antenna work better for the local networks? I would say it would depend. I mean, I don't really have any quantitative data or any experience on that. Do you guys have any experience with that?
I think for like antenna, if you were just to set up an antenna, it would only be like public access network. Nothing, I don't think anything like channel 25 or anything like that. It would be just kind of like basic public access television.
Well, I think because I remember a few years ago when we had a hurricane come through, I believe we had an antenna and we got like WPT I want to say it's the ABC affiliate. I think we got that one. So I think that's what these questions are referring to. So I mean, I can't tell you whether it's going to be good quality. It depends on, I mean, I would assume it depends on, how far you are away from the source, how good your antenna is. And I mean, a number of other factors there, but
yeah, that's kind of like a whole other can of worms.
Yeah.
Antenna, TV.
And another good question here is, what is LinkedIn Learning? So we will be getting to that in a couple moments, actually.
Yeah, you want to go ahead and just go to that slide? I mean,
let's go. Let's just go.
All right. So first, and if you guys still have questions, just keep putting them in. We still have some time to answer some more questions, but I'll just keep going through these slides. So to recap, we talked about what streaming is as a kind of an overhead view concept. Then we talked about music streaming, one over video streaming, and then we finished off with gaming streaming. So if you need help with anything kind of related to this or anything tech related at all, we do offer tech times at our branches. So that's 30 minutes of time with staff to discuss tech questions. You do need a reservation to sign up, but you can go to this link that's provided and request an appointment, or you can just call us on the phone to request an appointment as well. We can do that for you, or just come in person, whichever way works for you. And then here's the slide we're talking about, LinkedIn Learning. So these are online tutorials. You can search for them through the catalog or on our website with the included link. You can learn about just anything from this resource, from accounting, finance stuff, to Photoshop, to even stuff like ukulele. So if you type in the catalog, you type in LinkedIn Learning, you can see all the classes that it provides, or again, just go on to the LinkedIn Learning website through our library county website. All right, so thank you. Do we have any more questions before I close things out?
We had one just to confirm that the tech times are at every branch, and yes, they are. If you're looking for a specific branch, like whichever one is closest to you, I would suggest getting in touch with that branch.
All right, so yeah, thank you. If you want to know any more, just like I said, visit our website, library.martin.fl.us. Sign up for our e-newsletter so you know what's going on in the library with events such as this. If you have a moment, you can fill out the survey by searching for library survey on our website. And if you want to find out more about our Idea Labs, visit martin.fl.us/idealabs/CLS. And so again, thank you so much for attending. We hope you had fun and learned something new. I know there's a lot of information, but it's a lot of great stuff you guys asked today. Again, I'm Zach, joined by Manny and Stephanie, and yeah, thank you for spending time with us today. Have a great rest of your day.